Welcome to Unit 7.8. In this exercise, we're going to learn how to validate data by using data validation. It is exactly as the word suggests. Unfortunately, when people capture data into spreadsheets, the spelling differs, they type things differently, and then what happens is once you have to do a report on it, it comes up as two separate records. So you'd be very wise to put data validation on as many columns as you can if you're sending a spreadsheet out to be captured. For example, in column B, I'm selecting the whole column. This is where the person needs to capture whether they're from north, south, east, west. And I know that somebody's going to make spelling errors or type it differently, so I'm going to put data validation on this particular column. So to do this, click on Data, Data Validation, choose Data Validation from the drop-down list. I'm going to say allow only something from my list. Now my source is going to be these four over here. I would not normally type this here. I'd normally do it in another sheet and hide the sheet, or else very far down in the spreadsheet where somebody can't fiddle too much with it. So I'm going to click on the red arrow and I'm going to highlight that. So it's allow from list, select the source, click on OK. What happens now is there's a drop-down list on every cell in this column. If I did spell something wrong, it should say that I cannot do it. I can retry, but if I enter it again, it just doesn't allow me. Also, what you may want to do, let's select column B again, go back to data validation. You can put an input message here. So that you'll see now comes up with that little yellow description there. Okay, it makes it very user-friendly. I can also create my own error. So let's go back to data validation. So that's for your input message, and your error alert would be perhaps incorrect entry. You could be a little bit ruder here if you wanted. Okay, let's try and spell something wrong here. It will tell you incorrect entry. Please select from the drop-down list only. So you can see it validates what you are allowing into that column. So lists are not the only thing. For example, an ID number should be 13 characters long. So let's click on F, Data Validation. And in my settings, I'm going to say the text length must be, you can see you've got a minimum and a maximum greater than. Mine's going to be exactly equal to 13. My input message would be enter your ID number. And over here, please enter your 13-digit ID number. And your error would be something like incorrect number of digits. Please re-enter. So there's your help. Enter your ID number. Please enter your 13-digit ID number. Again, now if it was under that, it would say incorrect number of digits, please re-enter. So you can validate almost anything. You could also, you have validation, so dates between start date and end date. So if you want to keep them capturing dates within that year period instead of the wrong way around, you could do that here. You could say a decimal between a minimum of 2.5% and a maximum of 10%. Text length is very handy as well. If you worked with time, it can be greater than and less than, etc. So there is your setting. There is your little yellow input message, and there's what comes up if you go outside of the validation list.